Good afternoon, Mr. Stephen Lee, Tripartite Collective Advisor, Ms. Joan Mo, Deputy Secretary, Workplaces, Ministry of Manpower, Mr. Mohammad Zaid, General Secretary, Attractions, Resorts and Entertainment Union, Mr. Kandavil Periyasamy, Executive Director 1, Tripartite Alliance Limited, Tripartite Partners, teachers and students from Ngee, Nanyang and Republic Polytechnic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tripartite Collective Youth Experience Program 2025. Yay! Empowering your future with tripartism. My name is Wen Qi, and I'm delighted to be your MC for today. The Youth Experience Program is developed to introduce the concept of tripartism, its values and beliefs to our younger generation. We hope that by the end of the session, you'll be able to draw some relevance between tripartism and your future working lives and empower your future. If you have not done so, please scan the QR code. Thank you. And today, we are very happy to gather students here from Ngee, Nanyang Republic Polytechnic here at the Resort World Sentosa. You can look forward to our sharings by the Singapore Tourism Board on the Singapore tourism landscape, Resort World Singapore on their tripartite partnership journey, and a dialogue with senior tripartite leaders on tripartite in action, opportunities amidst uncertainties, and your role in the future of tripartism. If you have any questions on tripartism, you may scan the QR code later to post your questions. This is the QR code for you guys to scan. To post your questions or raise your hands, and our ushers will pass you the mics during the Q&A session later. So separately, as we are celebrating SG60 this year, the National Youth Council and its partners across the government and community organizations are launching a series of youth engagements throughout the year. This milestone year gives us a chance to reflect on our nation's journey and envision what we want Singapore to be. Your voices and ideas will shape the SG Youth Plan, a 5-year action plan created by youth for youth, with support from the whole community. We are happy to be a part of this initiative and for your ideas to help shape the future of tripartism. Before we formally start, we would like to thank Resort World Singapore for hosting, AREU, STB, and NYC for supporting this event, Tripartite Partners, MOM, NTUC, and SNEF, sponsor Temasek Foundation, and each and every one of you who are setting aside time to attend this YEP. We hope that you'll be able to take away many valuable insights and help shape the tripartite movement together. It is now my pleasure to invite Mr. Stephen Lee, Advisor, Tripartite Collective, to deliver the welcome remarks. Mr. Lee, please.
Thank you, and welcome all of you. Ms. Joan Mo, Deputy Sec, MOM, Mr. Mohammed Zaid, General Secretary, Attractions, Resort and Entertainment Union, the Tripartite Partners, NTUC and SNEF, lecturers and students from Ngee, Nanyang and Republic Polytechnics. So welcome to the Tripartite Collective's Youth Experience Program 2025. I'm delighted to see a very enthusiastic crowd. To our student friends, you are here to learn about tripartism, its role in ensuring Singapore's economic growth and social stability, and how the businesses, union, and government work closely with each other to seek win-win outcome for Singapore and Singaporeans. So what is tripartism? Tripartism is the collaboration between unions, employers, and the government to achieve economic and social goals. It is about creating win-win outcomes for workers, businesses, and our country. But as you can imagine, it is easier said than done, as very often the three different parties will find it difficult to put aside sectoral interests and work towards a common goal. Today, it is not uncommon to hear of high-profile strikes across the world. We have seen strikes by doctors in the United Kingdom and Samsung workers in South Korea, airports and transport unions in Europe, and even by screenwriters and actors in Hollywood, which disrupts the economy and citizens' lives. For Singapore, tripartism is the secret sauce of our success. We have enjoyed a sustained period of industrial peace, which many other countries can only envy. The tripartite partners work together to resolve issues of our common good, and instead of trying to advance their own sectoral interests. We have worked together to weather many economic crises, the most recent one being the COVID-19 pandemic and the national challenge, such as an aging workforce. We must, however, not take tripartism for granted. I've been involved in working with the tripartite partners in one capacity or another throughout my entire working career. Forging trust among the tripartite partners is an ongoing process. It starts with everyone in the workplace recognizing that each of their success is interlinked. There could be no successful company without workers being motivated and properly taken care of. And workers cannot get higher wages and benefit if the company is not successful and making profits. Our host partner today, RWS, has been recognized as Asia Pacific's best integrated resort for 10 consecutive years. This does not happen by chance. A contributing factor is the way RWS works with its union and their employees to advance the interests of both the company and the employees. Earlier, you went on a learning journey not only to understand about RWS services, but also had the opportunity to speak to some of their employees at the Aquarius Villas, Adventure Cove, and the Future Development. Later, RWS will share more about their progressive workplace practices, new developments, and tripartism journey to bring alive what tripartism really means at the workplace. The Tripartite Collective has put together a meaningful program today for you to experience a sneak peek of tripartism in action. I hope this session will trigger your interest in tripartism and help you better understanding the crucial role of tripartism in developing progressive workplace policies that may benefit you during your internship or when you enter the workforce. You are the future of tripartism, and as we celebrate Singapore's 60th year of independence with SG60, I hope you can take this chance to learn, grow, and inspire by asking as many questions as you may have and engage in meaningful conversation with the panelists. This is what tripartism is about: embracing the spirit of cooperation, exchanging ideas, and connecting with each other to achieve win-win outcomes. I would like to thank the Tripartite Collective Secretariat and the Tripartite Partners, the NTUC and the SNEF, SG60 Youth Plan, and the National Youth Council for the support and partnership in developing today's program, and to RWS and Temasek Foundation for their continued support towards tripartism. A special thanks also to all of you for taking time to join us this afternoon, and I hope you will go back to your polytechnics to spread the word and continue support for our future programs. Thank you, and I hope you have fun this afternoon.
Before we move on, Ms. Gan Xiaohuang, Minister of State for Education and Manpower, would like to send her apologies as she is unable to attend today's program as originally planned. She has prepared a short video to send her well wishes to all of you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Youth Exchange Program, YEP. The YEP is specially designed by the tripartite partners, the government, NTUC, and the Singapore National Employers Federation, SNEF. Tripartism plays an important role in Singapore's economic and social development. With tripartism, we've been able to help many workers progress and also to build inclusive and fair workplaces in Singapore. In many ways, tripartism is the secret sauce of Singapore's success. As we celebrate SG6C this year, it's also an opportune time for us to reflect on the progress we've made as a nation, and also to think about how tripartism is necessary for Singapore to continue to be successful going forward. I know that some of you will be starting work soon. Whether you are employer, employee, or leader at the workplace, I hope that you will contribute to making tripartism stronger in Singapore. Last of all, well, this is going to be an interesting program. I hope that you will participate actively, ask questions, learn from one another. Enjoy the YEP. Thank you.
Next up, a strong supporter and sponsor of the Tripartite Collective since its inception in 2022, Temasek Foundation will give you a brief introduction of what TF does. Let me invite Ms. Yeo Si-Ning, Associate Director, Programs, on stage. Ms. Yeo, please.
A very good afternoon, Mr. Stephen Lee, Advisor, Tripartite Collective, Ms. Joanne Moe, Deputy Secretary, Workplaces MOM, Ms. Lee Shi-Rui, President, Resorts World Sentosa, Brother Muhammad Zayed, General Secretary, Attractions, Resorts and Entertainment Union, Tripartite Partners, lecturers and students from Ngee, Nanyang and Republic Polytechnics. A very good afternoon to all of you. And first, I must really thank the Tripartite Collective for giving me this opportunity to do this sharing. And sorry, I'm a bit nervous because public speaking is not really something that I really do often and do well in. So pardon me as I try to do this the best I can. Maybe a short introduction about myself. I am now with Temasek Foundation in the programs team. And before this, I actually was with NTUC for 8.5 years. So tripartism is not something that it's not something new to me. Yeah, I think a lot of brothers and sisters here are probably wondering where I was. I was in the care and share department. Yeah, yes, yeah. Okay, so I think many of you will know about Temasek Holdings, which is our parent company. It's a global investment company which is HQ over here in Singapore. But we have many offices over around the world. And Temasek Foundation was established as the non-profit and philanthropic arm of the Temasek Holdings. Our role is really to deliver programs to enable community impact at scale. And what do I mean by that? So maybe a good analogy I usually like to tell people is, imagine Temasek Holdings as the one bringing in the money. Temasek Foundation is the one helping to spend the money. Okay, but some of it, and at a good cost. So we are also investors in our own way, but we invest in a social good, and also what we do is we fund new and innovative ideas for social impact. Okay, so what Temasek Foundation's work cover, we frame around the 4 Ps: people, planet, peace, and progress. So under the 4 Ps, we have our impact teams, which is, I think we cannot run away, climate and livability, how we're going to enhance livability through climate action and nature-based solutions. Health and well-being is something that's big and ongoing everywhere. So our focus at Temasek Foundation is on maternity and childhood development, and also pandemic preparedness, because we have learned from the last COVID crisis, right? We cannot be prepared. So we are here to help see how we can be prepared for the next pandemic that's going to happen. Next, I think we cannot forget our next generation, which is why I think all of you are here today to give access in terms of education and also advancement of talents. And lastly, that's where I come from, which is where we are building a resilient society, which is what I look at. And under resilient societies, I think it's a very big word. So I think many of you will have different meanings, different interpretations of the word resilient. So resilient can mean bouncing back after you have experienced something negative, or maybe even the resistance to protect yourself from negativity that's happening around. So at Temasek Foundation, we are here to focus on 3 areas. The first one, social cohesion, economic vibrancy, and workforce development. So SEW, so. So you can, I think the thing that I want to take, if one thing you take away from my speech today is remember us as the sewing team. We are here to sew the social fabric, whether in terms of when it's good times, because I think we need to strengthen the social fabric, and also in bad times, and we are here to repair the holes. Yep. Okay, so to give a brief introduction about social cohesion. So social cohesion, I think we all know that social harmony cannot be taken for granted. So without peace and harmony, there also won't be people, planet, and progress, and vice versa. So I think all these things work hand in hand. And through our programs under the social cohesion, we want to build bridges of understanding and trust between different communities. Secondly, under the economic vibrancy, our work at Temasek Foundation seeks to advance economic vibrancy and collaboration in the region, such as in the areas of digital and green economies. And with all this, I think we cannot forget why we are here, which is the W pillar, which is the workforce development pillar. So without the workforce, which is the backbone of our economy, I think we cannot be here today. And we are in a fast-changing world today. I think there are many, many changes that are happening. Workforce is continuously changing, and it's very important that our workforce are able to adapt to whatever changes that the world brings about. So that's why we are here. So hopefully we can do something to help our workforce to adapt to changes efficiently and effective. And I think that's also why we are here today, because tripartism cannot be forgotten, and it's very important. So as we go around doing our research and talking to various people around the world, not just in Singapore, we realize that tripartism is not something that's very common. It's tripartite. This word is actually used only in Singapore. And many people do not understand what is tripartism. So I think today, why we are here today is very important. We cannot let the good work of our forefathers go to waste. And I hope that whatever you learn here today, you will continue on and bring it with you and share with your fellow friends and carry on the spirit of tripartism. Yep. So let me not get in the way of your learning, and I hope the experts will give you more information on tripartism. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yeo. And we thank the Temasek Foundation for the many years of support. And now, for the first segment of this afternoon's program, Ms. Dong Li Min, Director, Tourism, Human Capital and Sustainability, Singapore Tourism Board, will give an overview of the tourism landscape in Singapore, opportunities and trends, and the latest developments with Tourism 2040. It is now my pleasure to call on Ms. Dong to deliver her presentation. Ms. Dong, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stephen Lee, students, lecturer, esteemed partners from ARU, Resorts World Sentosa, as well as colleagues from Ministry of Manpower. It's my pleasure to be here today with everyone to share more about Singapore's tourism sector in terms of our tourism outlook and our quality tourism strategy. So the tourism sector is one of the country's key service sectors and economic pillars. And the Singapore Tourism Board, as a statutory board under the Ministry of Trade and Industry, champions the development of Singapore's tourism sector and undertake marketing and promotion of Singapore as a tourism destination. So the tourism sector covers an array of industries that caters to the needs of visitors. So for example, the hotels, the business traveler, meetings, incentive, conventions, exhibition, or BTMIs, attractions, integrated resorts such as Resorts World Sentosa, travel agents and tourist guide, as well as the cruise industry. So tourism plays an essential role in reinforcing Singapore's status as a vibrant global city that is a magnet for capital, investment, and talent. It also enhances the quality and diversity of leisure options for our local residents and helps to create a living environment that Singaporeans can be proud to call home. So the Singapore's tourism sector posted a strong performance in 2024. We achieved a historic high tourism receipts of $29.8 billion, which is a new record and surpassed the previous high of $27.7 billion that was achieved in 2019. So in terms of international tourist visitors arrival, it increased by 21% compared to 2023 to 16.5 million, showing robust growth in visitor arrival. So this also demonstrates that Singapore continues to hold strong visitor appeal, resulting from a robust number of business and leisure events. In 2025, we expect international visitor arrivals to reach around 18.5 million, bringing in approximately 29 to 30.5 billion in tourism receipts. So Singapore stands as one of the most dynamic and vibrant cities globally, with tourism development playing a pivotal role in positioning Singapore as a thriving hub for both locals and international visitors to live, work, and play. And of course, we're constantly working towards new products and refreshed experiences to augment offerings such as the Disney Cruise Line Homeport, happening in Singapore for 5 years starting from this year, as well as Resorts World Sentosa's introduction of the new Minion Park zone in the Universal Studio Singapore. There's also a refreshed Chinatown Heritage Centre, which opened its door earlier this year, offering new enhanced experiences such as a recreation of a 1950 marketplace that offers a glimpse into the lives of Chinatown's early residents. So through cultivating strategic partnership, investing in new and refreshed products and experiences, as well as supporting stakeholders in building capabilities, we'll continue our focus on quality tourism to sustain our growth. So just earlier this year, we welcomed the opening of Mandai Wildlife Reserve 5th Wildlife Park, the Rainforest Vaal, as well as the Mandai Rainforest Resort, which is Banyan Tree's first resort in Singapore. Singapore is also set to get another 2 world-class attractions, a wellness attraction in the Marina Bay Precinct by 2030 and a Posh Experience Centre by 2027. We can also expect an exciting lineup of distinctive lifestyle and MICE events throughout the year. So for example, families with kids, you can look forward to the inaugural Kids Popcorn 2025, which will feature top international children intellectual properties such as Baby Shark and Peppa Pig under one roof. Singapore will also be hosting Southeast Asia's first World Aquatics Championships and the World Aquatics Master Championship from July to August this year. And this event is expected to welcome a record 40,000 international visitors. We have also launched targeted campaigns and inked a strategic partnership which is aimed at strengthening Singapore's brand presence on the international stage. So the Singapore Tourism Board launched the World's Best My City Global Positioning campaign, which has reached an audience of over 22 million. This year, we'll also be launching a new marketing campaign targeted at the early careers visitor segment to position Singapore as a must-visit destination. We've also inked several partnerships to boost travel consideration amongst our key target audiences, such as partnering with Xiaomi to develop a new generative AI traveler planner for Chinese visitors. So by leveraging on these opportunities, we're able to forge meaningful connections with our target audiences and expand our reach in a dynamic and ever-changing global landscape. So looking ahead, many countries have actually identified tourism as a key driver of economic growth. As such, competition for the tourism dollar is set to intensify in the coming years. We'll need to shift gears and set the stage for the next bound of quality growth to further entrench our position as a global Asia hub and a must-visit destination. So by 2040, we project that tourism receipts will reach 47 to 50 billion. And in line with our quality tourism strategy, we will grow our tourism receipts at a faster pace than international visitor arrival. Significant efforts will be required not just from the Singapore Tourism Board, but also from our industry stakeholders in order to meet these ambitions. We will be bringing our Tourism 2040 vision to life through 3 key pillars. So first is capturing demand from high potential growth opportunities. So this includes growing the MICE visitors and growing stopover conversion in tandem with opening of Changi Airport Terminal 5. Secondly, strengthening our destination attractiveness through compelling tourism offerings that will motivate our visitors to travel here. And thirdly, stepping up efforts to develop our tourism industry through capabilities development efforts. Let me first touch on demand. So by 2040, we aim to triple our MICE tourism receipts. So MICE visitors are high-spending visitors that spend twice as much as the average leisure travelers and will be a key driver of our quality growth. So some of our initiatives that are planned for the long term include securing strong pipeline of events such as the Herbalife Asia Pacific Extravaganza 2026, studying the development of a downtown MICE hub to boost Singapore's MICE competitiveness, as well as partnering partners such as the Singapore Business Federation for knowledge sharing and scaling up our capabilities. So besides MICE, we see growth opportunities from the introduction of the Changi Airport Terminal 5 in the mid-2030s, where T5 will be able to handle around 50 million passengers a year on top of Changi Airport's current capacity of 90 million. So this presents a huge growth opportunity for Singapore to convert transit and transfer passengers into stopover visitors. Efforts to encourage stopover visitors have already begun, where we launched a campaign with the Changi Airport Group to showcase Singapore, Destination Singapore as the perfect lounge for visitors. So next, moving on to our second pillar of destination. So to ensure our continued appeal to these visitors, we have identified several product opportunities that can boost our destination attractiveness. We see good opportunity to develop new offerings in Orchard Road, given that Orchard Road is one of the top places of interest amongst our visitors, highlighting strong potential to drive visitorship within the precinct itself. So the Somerset area is set to be an energetic entertainment hub with exciting events to come with opening of the Grange Road event space by Live Nation next year. We'll also be creating distinctive experiences in the other zones along Orchard. And over the next few decades, the greater Sentosa will also boost our ambitions to position Singapore as a leading destination. So new offerings will be coming on board, including new attractions, reimagined beach experiences, and expanded heritage trail. Leisure events are also expected to be a key driver of growth. We have seen pent-up demand for leisure events post-pandemic, with travelers keen to travel for sporting and live entertainment events. So to realize our ambition as Asia Pacific's leading leisure events hub, the Singapore Tourism Board will be intensifying our efforts to draw more world-class sports, lifestyle, and music events. So for example, the immersive media-based theatre will be opening at Gardens by the Bay this year, and we will also be welcoming a new indoor arena in Kallang. And the last pillar is on industry development. So it's not enough to just invest in quality tourism products. We need to continually build our industry capability as well as reinvest in our tourism workforce to ensure that we're equipped for the future. So for example, to help the tourism sector transform digitally, the Singapore Tourism Board had partnered with Enterprise Singapore on the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology, or SWITCH for short, for the first time. So through this partnership, we aim to inspire and enable tourism businesses to explore new technological applications, provide a curated platform, as well as foster collaborations between tourism businesses and tech innovations. And in the area of sustainability, Singapore is certified as a sustainable destination based on the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, or GSTC for short, destination criteria, the first country to be certified on a country level, and we have maintained this certification for 3 years. The Singapore Tourism Board has also supported GSTC in the launch of the GSTC Attractions and MICE criteria, which aim to serve as the global sustainability standards and provide a common understanding of sustainable practices in the attractions and MICE industry worldwide. The Singapore Tourism Board will continue work in this area to bring together Singapore's tourism stakeholders to drive sustainable tourism as part of the Singapore Green Plan 2030. So looking ahead, Singapore's tourism sector is evolving rapidly, bringing forth many exciting new career pathways. So take the example of our hotels. So based on their job transformation map, We anticipate emerging roles that will support key priorities in sustainability, technology, and placemaking. So these include positions such as sustainability specialist, business intelligence analyst, digital advocate, and wellness concierge. We remain committed to working closely with our tripartite partners to ensure that our workforce, especially our youth, are well equipped with the right skills and knowledge to take on these future-ready roles. So through continued collaboration with industry partners and educational institutions, we will strengthen our tourism ecosystem and create meaningful career opportunities for Singaporeans. So in ending, the tourism sector will not be able to deliver on its ambitious plans without a strong pipeline of manpower. So the Singapore Tourism Board has actually launched a tourism careers campaign to attract more young talents into the industry through increasing awareness of the dynamic nature of the tourism sector and to encourage job seekers to pursue their passions and consider career in tourism. So I'd like to end off my sharing today with a short video from our campaign where the theme is tourism is more than you think, which I hope will interest some of the students in our audience today, which is the target group for this campaign, to consider a career in tourism. Thank you.
Nope, not for me.
Aren't you looking for something fast-paced?
How about somewhere I can grow?
Wait, look at these.
This is nice. This one is good. So see of this? The left piece, my colleague. I don't know.
See? Tourism's more you than you think.
Thank you, Ms. Dong. It was a really insightful speech and gives our students a realistic, long-term view of what they could expect in the tourism landscape. Resort World Sentosa is a company that values long-term relationships and is committed to nurturing talent. Mr. Beyond T, who is an alumnus of Nanyang Polytechnic and is now an acting assistant manager for the business strategy and planning team. He joined RWS since 2023 and is currently a management associate and is now in his third job rotation as part of his career development journey as an AMA. Let's hear from him on some of the company's priorities, progressive workplace practices, and their transformation journey. It's now my pleasure to call on Mr. T to deliver his presentation.
So hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Bjorn and I'm a management associate from Resorts World Sentosa. So today I'll be sharing with you mainly three things. Firstly, about RWS transformation journey and how we progress towards RWS 2.0. And next, about tripartism partnership. And finally, my journey in RWS, and as I hope to shed some light to the youths who are over here. So without further ado, let me share a little bit about our transformation journey through a video. Yep, so I hope that you have enjoyed the video. So now let me share in detail more about our plans. So kickstarting off last year in November 2024, we have launched the Harry Potter Visions of Magic. It is an interactive art experience that brings the wizarding world to life. It is also an immersive experience that showcases the various iconic places in the Harry Potter world, such as your Chamber of Secrets, as well as the Ministry of Magic. Being a Harry Potter fan myself, I've certainly enjoyed the exhibition thoroughly and would certainly urge you to do so if you haven't already. Now, moving on to something that is much more recent, can I first ask and have a show of hands, how many of you have already been to the Minion Land that is open? Okay, thank you. So, USS has recently constructed its Minion Land and also opened it to the public in February 2025. So be sure to visit if you haven't already. And in the Minion Land, it features many kinds of different rides, and one that is exclusive to USS, which is the Buggy Boogie Carousel themed dance ride. And alongside that, there's also many kinds of different rides, such as the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, as well as the Silly Swirly, all of which is designed to bring family and friends who come over to USS a fun experience, irregardless of their age. Now, looking forward to the far future, RWS has plans to develop a waterfront development by 2030. So this waterfront development would be expected to cost about 6.8 billion, and it's expected to feature hotels of up to 700 room keys, along with new retail and entertainment complexes. Apart from that, there will also be a 88-meter tall waterfront sculpture that is designed by Hedwig Studio. Next up on the menu would be the WEAF, which we target to open by Q2 2025. So WEAF is a hub that features an extensive collection of luxury, premium, retail, and dining brands across 3 interconnected levels. So the WEAF also features the iconic world-renowned macaron house, Pierre Hermé, which is expected to open its first flagship store over here in Singapore at RWS. Moreover, the hub also seeks to connect guests across the resort to create a seamless and immersive journey whenever they are here at RWS. RWS has also been awarded with several awards, such as the Singapore Hotel Sustainability Award and the BCA Green Mark Award. Next up, we have also partnered with Marriott International to come up with the Luxury Collection Resort, which we expect to open by Q3 2025. It will be known as Dolores, and it features an all-suite luxury hotel. Moreover, we have constantly reinvented our dining offerings so as to create new experiences for guests who are here through the introduction of new restaurants, for example, Shun, Come On, as well as Shugara. So I hope that just now you all had enjoyed your tour over at Sea Aquarium, because the good news is that the Sea Aquarium will now be further enhanced and be changed and be rebranded into Singapore Oceanarium. So what's different here is that the Singapore Sea Aquarium will be expanded to more than 3 times its current size and feature more than 100,000 of marine animals, making it a must-visit destination in Singapore. So if you have enjoyed your Sea Aquarium tour just now, you will be sure that you will be enjoying even more when it opens. Moreover, the Singapore Oceanarium will also be featuring a research and learning center so as to provide hands-on experiences for guests through seminars as well as through workshops, so that guests who come over to the Singapore Oceanarium will learn more about ocean literacy. Now, to share a bit more about how RWS participates in the Tripartism Partnership, so towards our journey to RWS 2.0 transformation, we are certainly not alone in this journey. Building on to the strong Tripartism Partnership in Singapore, we have fostered several collaborations with government and union agencies towards building a strong future tourism talent pipeline and a resilient workforce for sustainable growth. So how exactly does RWS build a resilient workforce, and how exactly does it affect youths such as yourself? Well, firstly, RWS works together with teachers on educational content, and we also share with them about job opportunities in RWS, which are available for students, and we also offer scholarships for students as well. Apart from that, RWS also works with the Institute of Higher Learning to create internship opportunities for students. And we also partner with other partners such as NTUC Learning Hub to contextualize courses for the Singapore tourism sector. And we also work together with E2I on career fairs for graduates. Additionally, we also work together with STB towards grooming future tourism talent leaders. And moreover, RWS also prepares for future-ready workforce through providing mentorship in the workplace to navigate through new and challenging tasks. I could certainly attest to that, being in RWS for almost 1.5 years, where throughout my 3 rotations, I was given a lot of mentorship and guidance by my mentors on the ground to help me navigate through the tough challenges that I've encountered, and I have certainly learned a lot. Hence, this is how RWS taps on to the strong tripartite partnership in Singapore. Now, to share a little bit more about my journey at RWS, so firstly, to give a little bit more background about myself, so I graduated from NYP quite a while back, so shout out to my juniors who are out there, and have graduated in SMU in 2023 with a bachelor's degree in accountancy. So currently, I'm a RWS Management Associate, which is a 2 years accelerated program designed to groom young professionals like myself into future leaders. So, and that is done through various rotations in the organization itself, so that I can learn new skills as well as learn more about what the organization is about. So currently, my hobbies include numbers, because I like to deal with numbers a lot being an accountant, and also my hobbies include playing esports, which I've been doing so ever since I was in kindergarten, and I also like to watch Netflix and football whenever I have time. So what exactly do I do at RWS? To share a little bit more about my journey, currently I'm in the revenue optimization team, which is a project-based department where I assess the viability of projects to see whether they are profitable or not for me to proceed with. Apart from that, I also touch a lot on technology tools as well as softwares, where I use the softwares to turn raw data into useful information so that I can analyze patterns as well as trends, which can be used for me to make informed decisions about projects. Apart from that, I also touch base a little bit on the competitor analysis, where I analyze performance of my competitors, such as their P&L, their EBITDA, and even their share price, so that I can make meaningful comparisons between us and them. So these are what I do over here. So what are some of the learning and opportunities that I've gained throughout my time here in RWS? Well, first and foremost, I think that I've gained on my fundamental and technical skills. So for example, I have did a little bit on financial modeling so that I could assess viability as well as profitability of projects. Moreover, I also gain access to using technology softwares, which I feel is extremely important in a time like this, where technology is constantly evolving. And as employees, we have to constantly keep up with the times and improve ourselves so that we will not be behind. And also, of course, other accounting and finance knowledge as well. So apart from just my fundamental skills and technical skills, I have also learned a bit on my soft skills. Soft skills from the day-to-day interactions which I have with my colleagues. Soft skills from doing presentations, such as the one which I'm doing right now. And of course, soft skills that comes from external courses, such as one like LinkedIn courses, where I learn a bit on how to improve EQ at the workforce, for example. Soft skills is definitely what I feel is important, if not as important as my technical skills. Apart from that, RWS is certainly a huge organization that gives me the opportunity to work on various interdepartmental projects. For example, whenever I work on one project, I could expect to see many other departments who are working on the same project as well. And this gives me the opportunity to see how people from the other department does their work. And it's certainly shed light to me on how I can do things in a different way. And that will definitely help me as I progress in my career. And one very good opportunity that I have when I'm in RWS is that I had interactions with the senior management. Specifically, I had interactions with people from the C-suite, and I even had the chance to do up presentations to them, for them to give me feedback on areas where I can improve on, and for me to visualize how exactly people from the top does their work, how do they think, and how do they tackle their challenges, all of which I feel are invaluable experiences that I may not be able to find elsewhere. And finally, an accelerated career pathway, which is the Management Associate program, where I get the opportunity to be promoted all the way up to an assistant manager. As long as I continuously show my effort and hard work, the company does reward people based on your merits. Hence, this is my journey at RWS. But there is one important question. What else more could I find in RWS? Well, certainly to me, I feel that in a successful organization, the people is a very important factor. And for me, what constantly draws me towards this organization is the people whom I meet every day. Take, for example, my other management associates whom I often catch up with them over lunch to chit-chat, or even after work over dinner, and even play games together. Moreover, the company also organizes several learning journeys for us, where we get to not just learn together, but also have fun together. Additionally, my colleagues at work are also people who not only just work hard, but they also play hard as well. Many a times, I will find myself being on several team bonding sessions with them, where we would just simply chill and unwind over dinner as we celebrate a hard day at work. Thus, for me, I feel that this creates a culture, no, rather a resort of people and fun, where not only do I learn from the best people out there, but I also get to have fun at the same time. So with that etched in your mind, I'd like to thank all of you for your very kind attention. And if you would like to find out more about career opportunities at RWS, feel free to scan the QR code over at the top. And once again, I'm Bjorn, and thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. T. That sounds really invigorating. And we are now all curious to find out more about the transformation journey and how RWS worked with AREU and the staff to tackle challenges that arose. For the next segment of the program, we have the senior leaders from MOM, Ms. Joan Mo, Deputy Secretary Workplaces, RWS, Ms. Li Shiru, President, AREU, Mr. Muhammad Zaid, General Secretary, to discuss how the government, employers and unions collaborate to strengthen labour management relations and tackle manpower challenges together. And our moderator, Mr. Isaac Neo, young and promising with 8 years experience in the security industry. Isaac is an EXCO member of the Union of Security Employees and sector co-chair of the NTUC Youth Committee. He has played an important role in engaging members through organizing events such as the futsal competition for them. As a young union leader, he has also represented NTUC in the International Trade Union Confederation Asia Pacific Youth Committee.
I'm Isaac. I'm from the Security Union. So what my union does is, all the condos, all those uncle aunties, so I represent them. So I work in the security industry. So I do technology and innovation. So I try to help all those uncle and auntie be more technologically savvy. I teach them how to use a phone. I have literally taught an officer how to use a phone, help him buy data. The next week later, he learned how to use TikTok. I never teach him one. So people can learn, people can evolve. Technology will constantly progress. AI exists. Will AI take over your job one day? We don't know. But it will be there. So we have to face it. So even in my industry, we are facing such challenges. And what I do is I help my industry and all the workers try to go with the flow, learn from the technology and learn how to keep their jobs. So I think you all might be firstly wondering, I'll just have the panel just share a bit about their own experiences and what they have done and what are they doing now lah. Because if not, it'll be just 1 hour of me talking. All right, so
Test. All right, I'm Zaid. So the General Secretary of Attractions, Resort and Entertainment Union. So our union covers all the country clubs, attractions, and also the two IRs, which is RWS and MBS. So similar to Isaac, I'm also it's like called a CCA lah. So I have a full-time job in another company, which is the American Club, which is also a country club. So I work there as overseeing the business center, the co-working space, and the library there. So in my side job, as a general secretary of ARU, I also champion workers' rights and also helping people who are for their grievances and stuff like that. So I've been in the union line for about almost 12 years, yeah. But as a EXCO, about 8 years lah. So that's all about me.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Joan. I'm from the Ministry of Manpower. It's very nice to be here. I've been in the Ministry of Manpower for about a year, but prior to that I was at the Ministry of Education. So working in the higher education sector. So meeting our poly students here today, all of you, is very, very close to my heart. In MOM, as the tripartite partner, some of the things we work on, I think just to mention a few so you have some sense of what's on our agenda, include, for instance, major pieces of legislation you might have read about in the news, whether it was the introduction of protections for the platform workers. That's one. Another was also the first bill for the workplace fairness legislation, which was moved earlier this year. So since these are legislation and basically laws, it's the government's role to move them in Parliament. But actually, in the lead up to them, it was a really long and intensive tripartite effort to come together to really understand and develop and design these rules. And we can speak a bit more about that. But just to, I think, mention and call out some of these legislative work that we do. And another big chunk of work that you might come across from time to time will be some of our tripartite guidelines, standards, advisories, which we also develop together across tripartite partners. One you might have heard about will be about flexible work arrangements, which I think the flexible work arrangement request, which I think is a topic that's quite close to heart for usually a lot of our younger workers, and also I guess most of you who might be entering the workforce soon. So I thought maybe just leave those two there, just to call out also that we have a team in MOM which really works with tripartite partners on a whole range of issues. And I guess listening to some of the talks today, earlier this afternoon, I think tripartism is really very multifaceted. So I think we can use this session to also try and unpack it a little, whether from the union, government, or employer perspective. I think we all see quite different parts of it. And in the past year that I've been in MOM or so, I think it's really been quite exciting to see it at work. Yeah, I'll stop there for now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shiru. I'm the president for Resorts World Sentosa. I have been with the group for 30 years. I started as an accountant, very much like Beyond. But as we progressed, I actually moved into HR. I read the question here, which is very funny. He said that my lecturer say HR always gets scolded by the union. Is that true? So, Victor, I think we'll answer that. We are very friendly. So every morning I send my son to school. My son is secondary school. He's studying at Sec 4. And I also send my nephew to work. He's actually working in a bank. So I was trying to figure out, okay, poly students, so what are they at the top of their mind? So I'm asking a secondary school student, which is kind of like below you, and then the young graduates who's up above you. So I was trying to figure out what is at the top of your mind. And I was explaining to them about tripartite partnership. So actually for young people, they don't understand what is it about. And I took the effort to kind of explain to my nephew, who is actually currently in the workforce, to them, in their mind, union, the one that actually always go on a strike, right? And the business is always not looking after the workers, and therefore there's always this struggle. So I think the tripartite partnership actually play a very important role to really have the platform that all of us talk to each other and understand each other in terms of challenges, in terms of area that we need to focus in, and to actually strike a balance. Because as an employer, the business side, what is important to us is really to be able to make a sustainable business. Sustainable business means that we are able to generate revenue and also managing costs so that we can generate enough profits to continue with the business. So from the tourism industry side, it is about having more customers to come and visit us. And therefore, how do we balance between the business and also from the worker perspective, what are they have that in their mind? So I think that's always the challenge that we're working on. So I've went through this explanation to my nephew, and he said he's going to do a lot more research on this topic. So I think with this kind of platform, it's very, very good that young people started to be aware of this thing and then spend more time understanding this and then see how you play a part in it.
Okay, so before we start answering those questions there about HR always gonna scolded by the union one, does anyone here have a burning question? Them garang one. Anybody? Okay, so now with AI and tech having disrupted many frontline roles, can we understand how has RWS navigated these disruptions and assisted the workforce in upgrading the workforce? And how does the union, all this have played a part?
Yes, I will just take that. I am a personal believer that AI is not going to take away anybody's job. AI is going to enhance your job and make you be more efficient, and that you're able to do your job much better. For example, I think nowadays I'm always using my ChatGPT to actually help me, at least to address some of the questions that I have in mind. And then it helps to bring certain, sharpen your thoughts and be able to look at the issue more closely. So I do see that we are AI. We are something that we need to understand, and working with the union and NTUC Learning Hub as well as the MOM, we do actually come together and curate more digital fluency courses for our workforce. I mean, we have a very diverse workforce. We have about 7,000 workforce, ranging from the uncle auntie that has been doing manual job to a very professional and high-tech data scientist. So having that opportunity for them to mingle together as well, that also actually help them to learn from each other.
So touching point to her. For the union side, we also have regular tea sessions with the working committee to also know what they for the feedback from the ground. So feedback from the ground is important. So we know what they're experiencing, what kind of issues they face, and also we will bring it up to the HR management. Then from there also we will collaborate together and also touch base on what can be done, what's the issue and stuff like that. So we have a really great working relationship with RWS management. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. And maybe just to add, I think indeed technology and these changes, AI is one, but it will continue to, I think, impact our jobs and skills. It's something I think we need to continue to pay attention to. So for instance, of the government side, there is a skills report of the future that's put out every year. And the report's out there. I think it's for everyone to take a look at, but it's also a basis to have engaged employers and unions and workers in discussion on what are the changes and how they're going to impact jobs. Because I think even as you graduate from your polytechnics, actually you will need to continue to reskill, upskill. We are talking about AI today, but in 3 years' time, maybe it's entirely different technology that will be disrupting and changing jobs. So I think the question is really important, and it's a great question to ask and to keep thinking about.
So moving in line towards unions or this, so do you scold their HR a lot?
No. So in our unit, we believe that we don't scold HR. We believe in fostering a harmonious relationship with them. So I saw that there was I saw that lecturer says HR always gets scolded by union. So is that true? So it's totally not true lah. So whoever the lecturer here, right, I want to talk to you. Yeah. So for mine in the American club, my HR is very supportive of my union work. So I also do like a balance between work and union work. So for union leaders, we have this thing called the union leave, which we can use to offset to do for activities like that. But I don't normally use it. I use my own leave because it's my passion to help the people, and also don't want them to think every time you go for union work and then you take union leave. But nope, it's not true that we always get scolded. That's a myth, not a fact.
So how large is your union? And there was a question saying that should I join the union as an aspiring graduate? Maybe you can.
Okay, so at Fashion Rural Enterprise Union, we have about 14,000 members, which spans across, like I said, country clubs. So country clubs like Tanning Club, American Club, British Club, Swiss Club. We have a few of those. Also the attractions, like Sentosa, Luge, and stuff like that. So the benefits of being joining a union, right? Of course, you have workplace protection, and also you can use you have this thing called UTAP. So UTAP meaning like you can use this scheme to offset your courses that you're gonna take. So for UTAP for use under the NTUC starter is about $200. Then as for normal paying union membership is $250. So it's not like SkillsFuture that they top up one time. It's like every year they will give you that specific amount for you to do your training and courses. Yeah, which is a good thing for union membership lah. And also those curated benefits that you can have, like free movie tickets, attractions at a fraction of discount price. That's also a good thing. Yeah. So if you want to know more about your NTUC union benefits, you can go to the booth outside, which is under the Young NTUC. The youth starter pack has attractive benefits that you can tap on, which you all can have a look.
He just dropped a small plug for Young NTUC. the main thing you can use it for is you can use it to offset your driving costs, but manual only. So we have the disclaimer first, manual cars only. So you will learn how to drive stick. But what challenges have you faced in your work as a union
So
and working with RWS?
So for RWS, we do have grievances which I can't review here lah. But as always, there's always steps that we have to take in any escalation. So for the first one, if can be resolved within the respective supervisors, we resolve it at that. If not, we will bring it up to the management. If not at management, bring up to MOM. Then after that, MOM still can't resolve, we'll go to the IEC, which is the highest level of dispute lah. But for RWS, it has been quite pleasant now. We always get it at most MOM level lah, no IEC yet lah, which is a great thankful thing. Yeah.
I think you all hear the word tripartism, win many times. But do you all understand what does that mean? What does tripartism mean? I heard a no in the crowd. So in very simple terms, the union, the government, and the business do their best to discuss and work together to come up with a win-win-win solution where all parties come out with a positive outcome. So that's the main idea. So how does tripartism works? Most important thing, like what the Beyond said, communication. It's not straight away bang table, I strike. It's about talking to one another, coming to a mutual agreement. So you might see other countries, their unions operate very differently from what we do in Singapore. But tripartism has changed through the years. And I would like to bring it to my panel. So how have you seen tripartism or the work of the three of you together change over the years?
You start with.
Okay, maybe I can take a step at that first. I think it's a very interesting question. In a sense, some things have changed, but I think a lot of things have not. I think the spirit of what you sort of try to encapsulate, is a win-win-win, is that spirit of communication. I think actually that has been quite consistent and really the anchor and basis for how we talk and collaborate as tripartite partners. But of course, the actual issues that we talk about change a lot. When, Singapore first gained independence, you mentioned strikes. It was really problem-solving issues on the ground. Maybe there was a group that was not getting what they needed, whether things were unfair, conditions are not good. So it was tackling those very, very real issues. And I think that was the focus of that time. Over the years, I think the issues have changed, of course. What are we tackling nowadays? Platform workers. Platform work is I guess a kind of a modality of work that didn't really fully exist 10, 15 years ago. I mean, now I'm sure all of you use Grab Food, Grab Delivery, Food Panda, and so on and so forth. So platform work has been interwoven. Platform services are interwoven into our lives. So it is an entirely new topic that wouldn't have been part of tripartite conversations decades ago. But it's still the same formula, right? How do we come together? Platform operators, platform workers, how do we think about the win-win-win? What are the protections that platform workers need? How do we do it in a way that doesn't make platform operators go out of business, so it doesn't impose too much cost, that it still enables them to be competitive? So these are difficult conversations to have. And the spirit of it is what you mentioned, how do we have a constructive way to design something? And it's not something that is sort of done overnight. I mean, things that the platform worker bill took a lot of careful discussions, careful designs, because it's not just the sort of top line having a good solution, but how do you break it down into operationalizing it into injury compensation insurance for workers, and so on and so forth. So I think in that sense, some things have changed, but a lot has not.
Maybe I add on a bit. Things has definitely changed. I can give just a very high level example that we have been working with the union and haven't escalated to MOM yet. So so what happened is that I think, as all of you know, Resorts World Sentosa actually open 24/7. That means 7 days, and then we have 24 hours, which means that everybody are working on shift. So we are trying to see how do we make sure that our shift can actually be more aligned with the business demand, so that there are days that when the employees come to work, they are actually business there, or when they're like really overcrowded, I have enough employees to work on the ground. So we have this very smart data scientist that actually come up with this very complicated algorithm and supposedly matches the shift and the business volume perfectly. So with that business, we put on the table and say, okay, let's try, because from the business perspective, it makes perfect sense. And then we have this on the ground engagement, very constantly engaged with the union, and then union with our union rep at the workplace. And we have been discussing this issue. So there are matters that they brought up, which actually is very real for the employees to be facing. For example, at night there is no MRT. So if I were to have every 1 hour there's a change in shift, it's difficult for them to get home. So there are all these very real reasons that they actually put on the table, and then we have a very robust discussion about it. We're currently put on hold. That doesn't mean that we're not going to look at it, but at least we explore, we hear it, and we always say that this tripartite thing is just be able to have that platform to communicate better, to understand each other, and then we can actually make it better for everyone.
So as we talk and dive deeper into the idea of tripartism, there are more diverse voices. I mean, you look at Singapore today, it isn't Singapore 20 years ago, where there's more people of different backgrounds, different cultures coming to Singapore to call it their home. So how are these diverse voices in society, how should tripartism evolve to meet the needs of the future workforce? Very tough question. So as they mull over what to say for that, for those that are asking questions on what's the salary benefits of RWS, or how to get into the Sea Aquarium project. So there's a gentleman over there, I think from Republic Poly. I think you got the copy of the QR code from Beyond, right? I think he's selling it at 90 cents. So he will definitely give you the information for that GST rise already. So raise your hand a bit. Okay, so if you want to know more about the benefits for working for RWS, he has the QR code for it. He managed to grab it just now. Oh, now $1 already. Supply and demand. I got you there. So for those that want to know about RWS, I think there's more information they can get about it as well, right? So if those that want to apply here for internship, time to shoot your shot. You never know and you never try. But back to the main question.
Maybe I try to address. I try first. So I think from the business perspective, we'll look at it and say that how do we make sure that we have sufficient or adequate representative to sit on the to be a union representative on the working group. So currently in our company, we actually have selected, we call them influencer in a way, so it's more modern. So they are the one that is, they connect on the ground. They are more brave. They will come out and share with us the thoughts of other team members, rather than Asian society, we tends to be more quiet and we probably sometimes suffer in silence. But these more outspoken team members can then come together and represent the workforce, but together with the union, and have a more robust discussion. So for us from the business side, diverse voices is just to make sure that they are sufficient representative on the union platform to be able to share their view.
Maybe I'll add on this question of diverse voices. I suppose I'll take you through some elements of diversity. I think clearly one is really our demographic diversity. In the workforce, Singaporeans we're living longer, working for longer. So in the workplace, actually, you will have a greater diversity of age groups. I think surveys and studies will show also that across different segments of the age group, there will be different value systems, different views, different priorities. Also, people at different stages of their life cycle and having different needs. So I guess what it means also for tripartism, because a big part of what we work on is how do we design the workplace? How do we create the enabling conditions in the workplace for workers to thrive? So I think will continue to need to inform and shape how we think about the workplace and how we evolve it, whether it's work arrangements, whether it's helping senior workers sort of stay in work if they want to, with the right sort of schedules, workloads that meet their needs. So I think these will definitely need to be factored into the way we operate as tripartite partners, and really just I think makes us need to pay greater attention to hearing the different segments more clearly. But another dimension I want to flag out also is when we talk about diverse voices, we always think of the individuals, the workers being diverse. I think companies are also very diverse. So I think that's also very inherent in the way we work out some of the national level policies and enabling conditions, right? We have to take note, of course, say RWS is a as a hospitality service industry. There'll be other manufacturing sectors with very different work conditions, different needs. So I think that diversity in our economy is the other flip side of the diversity of voices of individuals. So again, I think the tripartite approach, it's just very core to how we need to hear the needs and the requirements. And I think that underlies a lot of the way we do it. How do we recognize genuine occupational needs in certain sectors while also recognizing genuine care needs for individuals? So I think that's the balance that we continue to strike.
So while I still have you,
Sure.
there is a question from the Polytechnic students preparing for our careers. What kind of realistic, flexible work arrangement can I really see?
Yeah. No, so I think that ties in very much to the point you just made that companies have very different needs. It's something I think if you're a student and you have already made some choices, you've already chosen the course of your study, possibly with some thinking around what kinds of jobs and careers and sectors you're going into. The needs of different sectors are very different. Manufacturing versus, service sector, F&B, they're all very diverse. So I think it's about going in with your eyes open. And I think that's where internships are so critical because you get to test it out for yourself. What kind of, even in a certain sector, different kinds of companies, whether they are the kind of nature of work, the kind of customers they serve, even if they're serving, for instance, international business, you may be flexible work, but on a very, very different time zone. So actually having that internship to understand the sectors that you're interested in, going to career fairs and asking about what are the norms, what you might be able to expect, having a conversation with employers, I think these are all steps you might, take as you are thinking about where you want to go to for your first job. And I think employers will also need to have that communication to explain, given the kind of customers I serve, the needs of my business, there'll be certain types of flexible work. Maybe it's not just work from home, but it's about flexi load, flexi time, various dimensions I think can be part of the conversation.
So to put you on the spot, does RWS have flexible work arrangement?
Yes, we do. But I think the different people have different definition when it comes to flexi work arrangement. I think the young people, and including my son, when he's talking to me, flexi work arrangement means working 4 days a week. But working working from home, I think there's different types of expectation from there. But from our perspective, because our business is number one, diverse, number two, really 24/7. So we do need to have a constant workforce, but then we need to really scale the demand with the supply. And therefore, when it comes to flexible arrangement, it's really on a case-by-case basis when we speak to our team members that we can actually make some adjustment in terms of the hours or the time that they want to work. But generally, it is just listening to them. But working from home in general, for Resorts World Sentosa, we already started from day one so that we are very clear with our workforce to say that we are in the business of human connection. So whether back of house, front of house, we are all working together as a team to provide the best service to our customer, and customer are actually present at our premise. So therefore, it is best that we are here rather than we serve them from home. So that message is a very clear from the start. So that is a choice of our employees to say that if whether I want to be part of this or I want to choose another industry, I think it's open for all.
So as you heard it first, Resort World have possibility for it, but it's a case-by-case scenario. But ultimately, it's a human connection business. So you should know what you're signing up for. So if you're looking for internship opportunities with flexible work arrangements, you might want to think carefully. So I think let's go step slightly back. So as we talk about the landscape changes and everything, what is the challenges for unions in the next 5 years? How are we maintaining relevancy and stuff like that?
So it's also according to the market also lah. So like now the current one is obviously AI. So we have to get in touch with our workers to upskill and uplift on all this technology. So what NTUC has done also, they're working with companies who are also our union partners. I mean, this company CTC, Company Training Council. So for this, NTUC has funded the company with 200 million, about 200 million, in funds for them to upskill and uplift. So with this also, they need to have also certain criteria that they need to fulfill. So if they are using this fund, it has to be work pro worker, and also if this fund gets in, they also have to uplift their wages and also training of their skills. So this is a good fund that's with NTUC.
Can you share an example of how, I mean, in your time that you've been in the union, how you have assisted workers and how you have uplifted and upskilled them?
So let me see. There's a bit too many. Let me just get a good one. So let me think. So
I buy you some time. So as he thinks about that, what he was sharing about company I work with. Say from the audience, answers coming. I will come to you.
my big boss.
No worries. Technically got mic underground.
So we help we work with company on company training committee. So one of the example is we work with Mount Faber, the cable car business, and they have company training committee. But the workers, we have young workers there, and then we also have more matured workers. Of course, then these workers, especially the matured ones, sometimes they are so afraid about. So to you students, I think when it comes to technology, you can just learn very fast, right? But for the matured workers, then they take a bit of time. So and we actually work with Nanyang Poly. I think Nanyang Poly, right? Ngee Poly, to bring the students to the workplace. So we have like a tech fest to bring the students to the workplace to get them to teach the matured workers some of this technology lah. Why did we do that? Instead of getting consultants to teach them, is because they feel more comfortable with learning from the students, mainly because they see them as their children or their grandchildren. Yeah, so for with Mount Faber, that's what we did, and we actually look at some of the technological changes that they implement from time to time, and how we bring the workers to learn some of this new technology. And of course, then with new technology, then their wages also increase lah.
So I think I'll share from my perspective as well, because being in the security union, we do see a lot of different types of people. So in my union, we have security guards as young as 18 years old joining the industry. Why? They tell me because they want to watch Coldplay for free. They want to watch Taylor Swift for free. So there are my union has about 24,000 people unionized, but the workforce is about 56,000. So out of the 24,000 unionized workers, I have 3,000 youth. And most of them work in a gig-based economy where they do events. So that's why every time you go to watch concert, I think recently there was a BTS guy that came yesterday. Yeah. So you see all the security guard all young one. Because they work 3 days, they make $700. Good money for them. So how we help these workers? So what I did last time was, these companies are huge. They hire hundreds of workers at a time. Sometimes they delay the payment. Sometimes they don't pay CPF. That's the worst thing. MOM is here. So what happens is, we as the union call their HR. Hello? Hey, I heard got a few officers you have payment haven't received. Is there any way we can resolve this? Usually all it takes is a phone call, because ultimately it's about building communication. So when unions, what we have to do is build a very good relationship with the businesses, so that in an event there is a dispute, we can easily talk about it and resolve it at that level. We don't have to go through all the different levels. When you are a union member, you have many channels you can go through. You have TADEM. TADEM cannot accelerate MOM. MOM cannot, you go IAC. There's many facets of how this thing can be done. So me personally, I have called these companies, HR, and go, your payment is late. When can you make the payment? So I mean, that's personally for me what I have done in my job as a union leader for my members. Because sometimes they need the money and the late payment absolutely not allowed. There's a whole law for that under MOM. And of course, paying CPF. Pay CPF very important. Okay, so as we move to the final part, I think a lot of them will want to know what advice you can give them trying to enter the hospitality sector. I think if each of y'all can give your own input of what advice would be best or what's the best career where should they look at? How should they go about? Because right now they're in poly. Should they enter the workforce? Should they continue their education? What's best for them, and what challenges do you see that the next generation of workforce will face? And how can they better prepare for it? I think that's the best you can give them at this time.
Yeah, Isa. Okay, maybe I just start first. I was just having some conversations with some of the business students just now out there with the Nanyang Poly, and they were saying that they are the business student. One of them say they're going to enter into the workforce. Some of them says that no, they're going to go into university and they will continue for higher studies. So I think each one of you have your own aspiration and your path to go. In the tourism industry, I mentioned earlier, it is a human connection industry, because in now day and age of technology and digital, a lot of times you spend a lot of time on the phone. And tourism is a place where you come with your friends and your family and you spend time together, and then you build that relationship and a shared memory. So that's what we are trying to achieve. And in Resorts World Sentosa, we have over 7,000 people. We have about 900 different jobs, ranging from really aquarist looking after fishes, to a chef who's cooking a nice meal for the customers, and to many different aspects. So it's a wide range of offerings for any of you who are interested in this industry, and you shouldn't confine yourself to what the area of your study, because over time you have to join a industry or a job that you're really passionate about, that you're passionate with making a change to the environment, you're passionate about making a difference to the guests who are coming to visit. I think then you will find the place to be an enjoyable place for you.
Maybe to add on that and sort of expand it further. I think my perspective is that as poly students, you are in probably the sort of the first 15 years of your life, or where you're studying, right? It's the first 15 years of full-time study. But actually, as you enter the workforce, there's another potentially 50 years where you're in the workforce. So clearly, what you're studying, you can't front load everything into this first part of your sort of life. And so I think that the perspective of lifelong learning, taking charge of your own career health, jobs are going to change, tasks are going to change, but what is it that you can, at this stage, sort of pick up, whether it's the ability to learn new things, the ability to meet new people, get new connections, understand different perspectives. I think these are actually what will probably do you quite well over the whole span of your career. So I think we're doing quite a lot of work trying to make career health more accessible for everyone entering the workforce to manage and take charge of your own career and skills development. So I think whether you're entering the service sector, hospitality industry, or something else, you might change to something else, and the sector itself might change over time. I think that spirit of the adaptability and continuing to learn as you go will probably be my advice to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, so as you all stay in poly, then after that, for the guys, they'll be going to national service, and after that, continue going to uni. So my advice would be to open up more on networking. So networking meaning like meet with other people from different walks of life. So Young NTUC, I think they have this mentorship program that you all can tap on. And also, they also have events like LIT, so where career mentors are coming in and to share their work experiences. So these are good platforms for you to have a insight on what the industries that they are doing and what you can take in from them. So my advice is to go to these kind of talks and platforms to gain more insights. And if you need to know more, you can just go look for the Young NTUC team at the back.
I love the fact that he's plugging every time he gets a chance to talk, like Young NTUC at the back, Young NTUC at the back. But I think for myself, how I would give my perspective on what advice career-wise, I think I spoke to some Ngee students. I work in the security industry. I do training in IT. My first degree is in musical theatre. So I studied in LaSalle. So I studied performing arts. It's completely different from what I'm doing now in my life. So the most important thing is to what you study now does not mean translate to your career. I saw your resume. You're an accountant. She's a certified accountant in like I think 5 countries or 6 countries, and now she are running Resorts World. So it doesn't really matter what you study per se or what you're studying now, because you have no idea where your future can take you. Be open-minded to where you're gonna go in your life and never stop upgrading. So I went to do a diploma in marketing, a diploma in security management. I did a degree in computer science. So I continued study, I continued upgrading myself. Singapore very good. We got these kind of opportunities. We can constantly upgrade ourselves, skills, future, UTech. So the plug outside, join Young NTUC, get UTech. So I think with all of that, I think we've given you a very good aspect of what is tripartism, how does unions work, some benefits in RWS if you're looking for internships here. The gentleman from Republic Poly still has the QR code selling at $1. So I think with that, I'd like to thank all my panelists for your time, your personal inputs of your journeys and everything. So I think with that, we'll bring the panel to a close and I'll have my MC come back up on stage.
Yes. Thank you so much to all the panelists and our moderator as well.
I hope that you all have enjoyed the session and you have I think through the discussion, whether you are employer representing employer union or the government, you have some sense of what we do at the tripartite level. So tripartism is at all level, but actually at the end of the day, as NTUC, while we negotiate for many of these benefits for the workers, whether it is their benefit, their wages, welfare, or work prospect, at the end of the day, the best welfare for a worker is actually having a job lah. So many a times while we negotiate for all these better terms, at the back of your mind, we also need to be cognizant about the costs to employers and whether this is sustainable in the longer term. I just want to say that many of you are in your 3rd year. So if you ever come out to the workforce, eventually you'll come out to the workforce to work. Please remember that NTUC is there. And if you are joining the hospitality sector, especially Attractions, Resort and Entertainment Union, please join ARU. Because join us as a member, or if you want to take a step further, join us as a union leader to protect the rights of the workers. Thank you.
Today, I hope you understand the tripartism, but I mean, at the role of business or employer, what is it? I mean, employer, they have this thing called sustainable business, which I think just now, Miss Lee Shiru have also mentioned it. So to have sustainable business, what you need to do is you need to have to attract talent. So to attract talent, what you need to do, you need to have responsible and progressive workplace practices. That's why you look at it. In today's context, Singapore, we have limited manpower, so we do need to have a good HR practice, train our worker and so on to meet the future demand. So just now when I look at some of the discussion, I mean, they all do think like it, but for employer, it's really that, whether it's going to 4-day work week or other flexible arrangement, is basically to make sure that, the worker is still as productive as what they will do in a 5-day work week setting. So that always the employer perspective, productivity. Why productivity is important? If you read newspaper this few days, they always talk about this thing called a pie. Productivity is like a pie. So between the employer and employee, we are sharing a piece of pie. Instead, in Singapore, because of tripartism, we are not fighting over a small piece of pie. We are trying to grow that piece of pie so that everyone have a larger share. So remember, when you enter the workforce, if you are an employee, always think that what you do, how does it affect the productivity of your employer? How does it affect your colleague? How does it affect your team? So I mean that thing. But if you are employers, also please be kind to your workers as well. And that's how Singapore continue to thrive, because the employer take good care of employee and the employee take good care of business. So that's how I want to hope that y'all can always, behind your mind, always think about how do we achieve a win-win-win outcome for everyone. Okay, so that's my story. Thanks.
Firstly, I'd like to thank all of y'all for being such engaging participants. It's not easy. It's 6:15. All of y'all were having a go still at the discussions and negotiations. Today, the whole session, people were pitching about jobs. No tourism board come and say we have exciting jobs for y'all. Resort World Sentosa came, they said they have jobs. NTUC Youth Wing were also, pitching their job to have members. There is a particular job I also want to talk to y'all about. I tell you what the job role entails. It entails a lot of eating. Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime eating. It involves drinking a lot of kopi and assorted beverages throughout the day, afternoon, evening. It also involves going for karaoke sessions. It involves playing golf. It involves sometimes going overseas as well. And that is part of my job. So I'm Executive Director of TEL. I'm also the Chief Conciliation Officer for Ministry of Manpower. So, when they had the session, they said, if we cannot resolve disputes, it goes to MM, if not IAC, Industrial Arbitration Court. And I'm the MM part of it. Why did I describe all these JD part of my job? Actually, it's quite serious. This is part of my job scope. In fact, my big boss said I'm not eating enough with people. I need to go out and eat and bond more. Because we talked about tripartism, we talked about it being the secret sauce, and it's not secret actually. We tell other countries how we achieve it. We say, union, employers, government, we work together to achieve win-win partnership. How do we get it done? It's not so easy. A lot has got to do with building the trust and relationship with one another. So all these things that I described, I do it with my tripartite partners. We meet regularly, we get to know one another. There's a bit of relationship building trust. It's just not all fun. Then when we negotiate, we know each other. We share a certain bond. We know what we do. Sometimes when you play games, you eat, you do things. You know each other's character. You build a certain kind of relationship. That has what has made our tripartism successful. It was not forged overnight. So myself, Irene, Kersin, we meet regularly. We know each other. So, all these negotiation that you did, I'm sure some of it was challenging. But if you know each other, it could have been much easier. In reality, I wish all negotiation gets settled as quickly as how you all came up with the solution for it. But it hardly happens. So that is our tripartism model. I think when we started this session, I think there were three things that we wanted to achieve from out of y'all. One is knowing what is the definition of tripartism, what it means. That's not so difficult. It's an intellectual, right? Again, working in collaboration, all three parties to achieve win-win partnership. The second part is more important. Why is it so important for Singapore? Because many other countries have a quite adversarial relationship. They go on strike. And in fact, sometimes you see in Parliament, there's call to say that Singapore's tripartism seems too close, very comfortable. Why can't we be more adversarial? So the why is important because Singapore is a red dot. We depend on trade. We're an expensive country, so we need all the advantages for investment to come in. And one of the greatest advantage we have is industrial harmony and a strong social compact. So we tell investors when they come, our tripartism is strong. Unlike other countries, we don't suddenly just go on strike, disrupt businesses. So come and do business with us. Our social compact is strong. So workers know what they need to do to help their employers and vice versa. So that's the reason why we keep saying tripartism is Singapore's unique formula and why we want to sustain it. And the last point to wrap it up, why are we telling it to all of y'all? Firstly, y'all need to, it's not just understanding what tripartism is. Hopefully, y'all believe in it, why we do the way, why we work the way we do in the tripartism space, and you understand and you say, yes, this sounds about right. And in the future, some of y'all are going to be employers. Some of y'all may even join the trade union movement, NTUC. So wherever you are, we hope this session here today, you keep it in mind and you continue to fan the flames of tripartism, keeping it alive, because y'all are the next generation. So on that note, I think there's still a final segment for us to give some token of appreciation to the representatives on behalf of my friends NTUC, SNAF, Tripartite Collective, and every one of y'all. Thank you for coming and being a wonderful audience. We hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you.